Hello and welcome to the next guide. So today we're on Alpine and I'm going to go through that. And how would I describe this? So yes, the strats work and they are pretty consistent enough to get you below 50, but some of the strats can be a bit odd. And I'm not perfect. Like so, Pole 8, it is consistent in 4 because I play against Josh who does get it consistently in 4, but I have no idea how to do it. I can get it in 5 consistently. And one of the other ones, I think hole 15. I think it's hole 15. I'm not sure. I can get consistently in 4, but I know it is consistently in 3. So that would take it down to below 45. And so obviously, if a bit of working on there could get you below 45 consistently. But actually, the best score total is like around like 31 or something like that. So you should be fine with that. But rather than go on how bad I am, let's just get into the game and start recording and get into this. I'll do the same format as before. I'll try and talk to you before I actually take the shot. Well, that was a bit of lag then. I hope there's no lag. More worried about my OBS video. Okay, so this one, what you're going to do is just tilt your camera a bit to the right, and you'll be aiming at the center of this shadow here, full power, straight. Now, you don't have to move your camera, I just do out of habit. Your next shot though is a bit hard. The power is just less than P off the par, like so. And then you've just got to line it up. Now, because I'm on the left hand side, I'm going to aim slightly to the left of the flag. If I was on the right hand side, I would aim right. But don't overcompensate and also don't undercompensate. Now, I may miss this, but if I do, you'll see exactly where I land. No, I got it in. But if I do miss, I'm not going to bounce off the back wall and go down again. That sort of power will keep me up and close, and should be for a simple tapping if you do miss. Hole 2 can be a bit of a pain, because the sort of bumps on like the other side aren't that big, and so you sort of have to get the right power. So what I normally do is position my camera so that this corner here is in line with the center of my screen. I'm basically aiming at that corner, and then I'm going to go sort of about here, sort of the left hand side of the vertical bit of the T. There is some leeway. It's better to go a bit more left than it is right, but not too far left. Somewhere around there. I try and refrain from bouncing off that back wall, but obviously if you do, it's not the end of the world. It will take some of your power away though. So your next shot, what you're going to do is you're going to aim at the flag, and then you're going to use the power with the left hand side of the 2. So sort of, in fact, it's about there. Like so. Make sure you're lined up, and you should go in. Again, if you miss, easy button. You're not going to go flying off in some random direction. Okay. Hole 3. Not the hardest. You don't have to move your camera. If you move your camera, it's fine. If you don't move your camera, it's fine. Aiming at the same spot does work. Basically, we're aiming at that tree. I like to just move it slightly. And then what you're going to do is this first sort of blocker, you're going to release when the first one gets to the top. So now, full power will send you around, and you should go in. Now the problem is, it normally takes about 20 seconds for you to actually go in. See, I got up to, and I still go in, but it takes a while. That was actually the first time I've ever sort of nearly stopped up there, so that was a bit of a surprise. Okay, hole 4. Now hole 4 is a bit of a tricky one. You can obviously go the long way around, but what I like to do is just move my camera slightly, so we're aiming at the sort of midpoint between this square and this square. I actually aim a bit more right, but I don't want to go sort of like in line with that square there. I sort of like their maximum. And then what you're going to do is just go 1 pixel below full power. So you can do that, but I would say that's the sub pixel. Yes, it's really 2 pixels, isn't it? Now, if you do hit the rock, it does count as out of bounds, so be careful of that. But obviously, if you get round, it means you'll be in a great position. Obviously, you would be preferred to be there, but as of yet, I can't get there yet consistently without hitting the rock. And so what you're going to do is just full power. If you've got a cursor like mine, left and like the sort of vertical bar of the cursor just line up with this corner here, like so, full power, and you'll sort of ride that round. Now it is possible to get in free, but it's very inconsistent, and I'm just going to give you a rough idea where to aim. You sort of want to aim at this, where this line meets here, like that, and then I normally go sort of in line with the E. But as you can see, I just didn't get it this time. I'm sure you could find a consistent way, but obviously I couldn't. But yeah, nonetheless, you're going to get an easy sort of lining with the E for a nice easy birdie. Okay, now hole 5. It's a bit hard to get into because you have to get a bit lucky, and it's a bit of a pain sometimes. But if you just don't move your camera, you just go full power and put your cursor like where this shadow is, it doesn't really matter as long as you don't hit that first corner. What's going to go is you're going to go around. If you land in the center, that's ideal, but obviously sometimes you either go further or even go up here somewhere. It's a bit inconsistent, but nonetheless you're going to see the flag. Now you'll just be careful, because if you're in line with it, then fantastic, but if you're not, you'll sort of, if I said aim at like a third of the way across, you would actually go the other side. So you want to sort of go straight and then just go like a pixel left, or like 1 or 2 pixels left, and you're basically just hoping to get lucky, because it is very, very inconsistent. As you can see, I didn't get it right, but if you bounce off the back wall and you hit the hole, obviously directly on, you will go in, you won't bounce out. But from here, obviously, just a nice E power to a nice par. That's definitely one of the holes that I think could be worked on. But either then, even if I'm getting you like a consistent, like I think it worked out to be a 46, and that's sort of on the passive side, you're still getting 22 below par. So this one, don't move your camera, and then what you're going to do is line up with the T in stroke straight. If you go slightly left, it doesn't matter, because all that's going to happen is you'll end up somewhere in this vicinity, and the main aim is that you're not going to fall back behind there. Next shot, no matter where you are, just vertical, like straight up, full power, and should get you somewhere either where I am now, or just somewhere in sort of this sort of 12 block square sort of radius. Now this last shot, you can get it in, but again, it's very inconsistent. If you want, I would probably say try and bounce it off the back wall, but what I'm just going to show you is how to get sort of close with the right power. So you want to line it up with the vertical bit in the 4, and just sort of aim sort of halfway across this shadow, like so. And now, depending where you are, you could go in, but if you don't, you'll get close. And oh my god, I got so close. But as you can see, easily possible in free. Well, I say easily, it is possible in free, but you have to get a bit lucky, because there's no set way due to camera angles, and I'm going to go on about it over and over again. Okay, hole 7 is a bit tricky. I may miss this. I've been known to miss it, but if I do, it's an easy free putt. But the general idea is the same. Now you'll notice that, or at least I feel like at the start, I'm not like sort of aimed on halfway off the ramp. It's like this line just doesn't look in line with that. So what I do is just tweak it a bit to the right, just so it looks a bit better. And then you sort of want to go just left of the letter S, like so. And then just release when it's visual. Here, it's clear. Now, if you get, I'm going to slide off, I think. Oh no, I got it. So I would go a pixel right of where I aimed then. It's a bit hard, going to take a bit of practice, but that power will get you over there as long as your aim is right. You don't want to go any more because either you'll go into the hole at the start or you'll actually bounce out of the hole itself, which I've done before. Okay, now to hole 8, which is dreadful. Quite frankly, I just can't do it. I like to go flat and just tweak slightly right, because what I'm trying to do is get my ball to follow that curve perfectly. But I just don't know what I'm doing. See, I kind of want to go that way, but see, you can see it already. I don't really have a strat for this hole. You can aim either way. What I normally do is sort of aim sort of around sort of here with the general idea of just bouncing around and just landing up somewhere around here. I much prefer landing around here because if you land halfway through, you can screw up. It sort of screws you up. But obviously, it is possible to get there in 2 shots, I think. So you just have to be a bit lucky. But obviously, from here, I'm going to aim left because I'm more likely to roll it around. So like so. And now I'm a bit screwed. I would probably use a pixel less. Again, I'm not the best at this. But yeah, so now what you're going to do is just go about K power. And your aim is just to roll it around. Now again, a bit hard, but I sort of bounce off here. I think I probably might have gone in. But the problem is, if you do go too powerful, or your angle's a bit like sort of jumpy rather than smooth, is you can sort of bounce off the sort of this bit here and go backwards and not get an easy 5-putt. Now, as I said before, I have this as a consistent 5. But consistent is probably a stretch, but it is consistently possible in 4. It's that the first second shot combination to get to that point. If you can do that, then you should be fine. Now this one's a bit tricky. What you're going to do is sort of position your camera sort of in line with this sort of tree here, and your aim is to get as close to this right hand side, but also not as close to it. It will make sense in a second. What you're going to do is you're going to sort of go, I think it's mid S power, and your aim is to go up here, and then you're sort of going to use the sort of vertical bit, which will drag you down a bit so that you don't hit this top bit. Now, if you do hit that top bit, it's not the end of the world, and I'm more likely to hit it. But I'm just giving you the basic understanding. There should be fine, like so. Takes a bit of practice, but if you do end up there, just what I would do is aim slightly to the left, so you're sort of rolling off this, and you're likely to go down. Because I feel if you go straight, you can also, but you're more likely to bounce off there and then sort of bounce there or something like that. So I aim a bit left. But from here, it is possible to get in, but very, very inconsistent. What I normally do is sort of aim just right of this intersection, sort of the end here, at about sort of left hand side of the O, right hand side of the R power, sort of about there, aiming there. Basically, my aim is just to bounce around and go in. It is very inconsistent. I bounce out a few times, so be careful about the power. I think what will probably end up happening is you bounce off this back wall, bounce off this wall, and then go in. Because if you bounce off I bounce off this wall like a few times and then sort of bounce out of the hole. So I think if you can bounce off that wall, bounce off this wall, and then go in, you should have not enough power to sort of bounce out. But yeah, from here, you're just going to line up with the E. and you should go in for a nice easy birdie. So that's the other hole, along with hole 8, that I'm sorry, no it's not. Ignore me. It's hole 6 and hole 8. But yeah. Now this one is quite funny. It occasionally glitches. What I recommend though is if you just aim towards the hole, sort of a bit left, like a pitch left, full power, you can go in occasionally. But even if you don't, in fact, I recommend that you aim towards the left one. I always seem to have trouble when I aim to this right one. Don't know why, I just did. But yeah, as you can see, you can bounce up and occasionally get up here, but very fluky. But obviously, if you get up here, you've got like I want to say easy. It's an easier shot for a hole in 2. But nonetheless, if I'm here, what I'm going to do is, no matter where I land, I'm going to try and ride it around. Right, so full power, ride it round. And the reason for this is because you'll hit the edge of the corner and you'll at least get onto this platform. If you try and aim across, a lot of the time you bounce off this bit of the wall and then you sort of go around the corner where it's impossible to sort of get. So now what you're going to do is sort of land with the E, straight at the hole. I mean, have I read my notes wrong? Yeah, I have. In line with the left hand side of the black circle. But yeah. Well, that sucks. But yeah, that should get you consistently as a 3. I'm just crap at putting. But as you can see, we're doing quite well. In fact, the first 9 we were 12 below par. And so you should be doing fine. This one is quite easy actually. What you're going to do is just turn to your left. You're going to go full power, and you're basically going to line the left hand side of, like, goes. I want to say line. I'm too busy playing golf with your friends. You're going to go as close to the left hand side as possible. Don't go too close, otherwise you might clip the wall. But if you get this right, if you go full power, you should go round, fall down through the hole at the right time, like now, and then you've got a nice easy hole in 1. Again, all holes are going to take a bit of practice. That one should be fine. That's probably one of the easier holes. Okay, now hole 12 is a bit of a pain. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to line up this leg with the center of my screen. Again, really stupidly hard to do sometimes. Probably should put like a blue tack on my screen. Full power at the center of it. I'm going to bounce off here and you're going to sort of curl around here. Now, that's new. I can tell you that then. Stupid. But nonetheless, from this situation, if you just go full power as close to the left hand side, no matter where you are, you may not get it in 2, but you'll definitely not go out. But yeah, that's what I was aiming for. I ain't got it worked. But yeah, if you don't get it in 2, it is quite possible to get it in a 3 consistently. You either aim sort of like there, so where the sort of triangle pieces were. Now this one's pretty cool. I think it is going to be possible in 1, which is I think is fantastic if it is. But if it isn't, then who cares? But what you're going to do is you're going to aim at this cross here, and then you're just going to go pixel on the full power. Pixel on the full power is actually important. And there you go. I land right next to the hole. Nice, easy to follow. And using sort of the left hand side of the black circle should get you in nicely for a 2 for an eagle. I do love that eagle sign. But yeah, so it's going well. As you can you're starting to see that with a bit of luck, you could get below 40, but this one as well. What I do is just keep my camera straight, full power, put my mouse cursor on that corner here, and we're just hoping for a 3, to be honest, because the 2 is quite inconsistent. Now, ideally, you would like to land in the center, but even if you don't, what you want to do, if you're in the center, just go full power straight. If you're slightly off to the edge, you're going to go full power, Then you're just going to go sort of a pixel right, 1 or 2 pixels right. God, my lining up, I must not be lining up straight if I'm going the pixel right and not, I'm going just screw me, man. But yeah, so it is possible in 2. Might need to get a bit lucky, especially with the first shot, but nonetheless, you've still got a nice easy 3. This game just, now this one's, I do like this map, this course, this level, this hole, got there eventually. It's like, you know, when you got your parents shouts you and just goes and names all your siblings before they name you, or like even bloody named the dog a few times. Fucking ridiculous. Yeah. So what you're gonna do is left hand side of the S, just making sure that you get through this gap here, and then you should end up somewhere around here. Now it is possible in 3, but you might need to get lucky. So you're gonna go full power, aim sort of so that your line is sort of touching this cross here, like so. Release when available. Now you can go straight down if you aim a bit left, or if your position either down there, sort of down there, is a bit better. But I don't really recommend it, as if you go down here and you don't hit the back wall, you're a bit screwed. But this is another one where, although I'm going to get a 4, it is possible in 3. What I like to do is sort of half the black circle, and I'm sort of aiming to bounce off the back wall and then go in. Sort of like, so I sort of want to aim quite close to the hole, but not too close. And oh my god, my power is I thought my timing there was terrible. No, my timing there is not terrible. I just can't speak because my brain's stupid. But yeah, if you bounce off the back wall and then go in it, I think is a lot easier to do. Can't say that it's consistent though, so sorry about that. Now this one's a bit funny. There is a thing where you can go sort of like not full power, but like a pixel under full power that way. But I seem to have trouble with it. So what I do instead is sort of line, so this tree here, like the trunk, is in the center of my screen, and if I can do that, then what I do is sort of just over where the sort of green goes into the blue, so sort of like there. And oh my god, my screen's not centered. And if your aim's right, which I don't think mine was, oh no, it kind of was. I wanted to go a bit more right. I sort of went as left as possible to get it in. So if you go like a pixel or 2 right, you should still go in. You're basically hoping to bounce up on the top there and then go in. I say it's consistent, and it is. I get it most times, just not every time. This one, gonna aim straight. Make sure you don't move your camera, and you're just gonna go where the green meets the blue. So basically, if you get the last ones right, you want to go slightly below it, and you should go in for a nice easy 1. Now, this is the moment where I get below 45, or I get 40, like, so I get 44, or I get 45. It's quite funny, isn't it? And it's not the most consistent one. So I sort of line. So what I do is zoom out completely, move my camera so I'm vertical, and basically what I do is I go sort of T power, sort of like that, straight, and then release when that sort of starts going to the left, like sort of starts bouncing off the left hand side, so sort of like now. But as I say repeatedly, it is not consistent. I didn't. Oh, that's the first time I've ever gone directly into the hole. maybe normally what I do is I clip the hole, go slightly up, and then come straight back down and go in. But I guess it's just not consistent. And I'm sorry about that. I would like a consistent one on that, but those sort of holes don't seem to be very easy to get a consistent hole in one. In fact, I'm not going to get a 45. I'm going to get a 46 because I keep forgetting that you don't go really close to the hole on this last one. From here, what I normally do is just sort of follow the curve round, as you don't really have enough power to go in. And also, if you're closer to this wall here rather than that wall, then you can try bouncing off, and then going in. I've come close doing that, but in my position, then that was a bit crap. And from now, I'm going to go half black circle to get it in. My brain doesn't work. I've been playing this game for so long today. Shift tab doesn't even work, so I can't show you how long. But yeah, so 46, 22 on the par. 46 was actually what I wrote at the beginning, saying that's what my consistent is. But I mean, with a bit of practice, and if you don't get a bloody bogey on hole 10, you'll get 45 or below. Hope you enjoy anyway, and I will see you guys next time. Thank you very much for watching.